Hey, Spuddies, PotatoMcWhiskey here, and welcome back to Civilization 6 in the China Wonder game. And things are going pretty well. I'm feeling pretty good about the amount of tourism we're mostly getting from wonders. Like, if I were to tot it all up and add it up all together, the vast majority of my tourism is coming from wonders, like 6 here from the Colosseum. We've got another 7 coming from here. We've got another 5 here. I think there is 8 in total. I think it's 6 from the wonder and then 8 from the great works inside of it. I do have printing, right? That should be doubling. Yeah. Okay, I have printing, which is doubling my things. I think one thing I would like to see is maybe it would be cool if there was an ability that would give you, like, if a city has a wonder, like, give you +1 engineer point, or maybe if a city has like a cultural wonder, give you +1 artist point or something. I think there's kind of like a few little things like that I've kind of like rolling around inside my noggin, and they it's just like little things like that maybe there's something there. There's like there's something there to that idea that kind of appeals to me. It kind of reminds me of Civ 5, honestly. But one of the things I wanted to talk about is actually the word noggin, because for a very, very long time I played World of Warcraft, and there's a drink in World of Warcraft called Noggin Fogger, and I didn't realize until I said the word noggin out loud, like in isolation, that the joke of the drink is that if you drink it, it makes your noggin foggy. Like, I just never made that connection. And I feel so dumb now that I've realized what it meant. And so that was like my legitimate, like, probably the lowest point in my life, was when I realized that noggin fogger actually meant something. I thought it was just like a random string of syllables. I was like, oh, this doesn't mean anything. But yeah, I felt really, really silly about that. And there's kind of a part of me that wishes I had played more World of Warcraft. I know that sounds crazy, right? I wish I'd gotten into it when I was younger and really, really played it, because it's such a wonderful and beautiful game. Now, unfortunately, obviously, it's having some issues lately, but it's still a really good game, and I'm kind of excited for the new expansion. I don't know, I really, 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 really like the game fundamentally, and I just enjoy playing it. And I think it's okay to be a thing enjoyer. I think way too often nowadays, okay, this is going to be a little bit of a hot take. I think way too often nowadays, it's really easy to be a thing hater. But there's not a whole lot of thing enjoyers get here's nuclear take number 1 for this video. Thing enjoyers get a bad rap online, okay? If you enjoy a thing, people will make fun of you, they'll bully you, they'll say grown ass man like in Pokemon or whatever. Like, they'll say like some sort of disparaging awful comment plus like the thing that you enjoy. And that's just like a dick move. Nobody needs that kind of energy in their life, and I don't think we need that kind of energy in the world. Okay, so we have access to urbanization, which means we can plug in military research, getting us +2 science for all of those Renaissance walls that we just built, which is high value, not multi-level marketing, but high value. Now, I think I would rather have 22 science than Raj. Let's see. Public works is fine. I still want builders. Is there anything else I want to plug in? I could go with public transport if I went for neighborhoods, and we could go for neighborhoods. Yeah, I'm not so sure that we need to. This city definitely needs like another builder eventually. We are close to getting flight, and we should see a small jump in our tourism at flight. I'm a little bit excited for that. I finished a builder in here. I can send this builder around. A lot of my gold is going to be going towards buying tiles, and also I have to do like a little bit of a religious defense over here down the south, so killing this guy will hopefully push back Buddhism. So I'm going to buy myself like a couple more inquisitors just to kind of spread my religion. I do get benefits from having my religion spread. I have things like divine inspiration and pagodas and itinerant preachers. My religion is spreading quite effectively. Also, Thebes flipped independent, by the way. It's going to flip to me in 3 turns, which is really great, because that might mean I might want to establish like an actual presence on that second continent. Something to consider. But yeah, I think from now on, though, I'm going to save my faith. Just keep the faith for getting things like naturalists and national parks, stuff like that. I spent a little bit of faith on like inquisitors and stuff, but that's like a totally reasonable thing to do in my opinion. In other news, I very, very recently discovered that there's like a conspiracy theory about me in the Crusader Kings 3 community on Discord, that I make games easier for myself to play. It's like such a wild, and like I have haters apparently. I can understand why people hate me, right? Because I have a certain personality type. Not everyone's gonna like you, right? Like that's life. Not everyone's gonna like you. But I think it's such a baffling attack. Like there's so many good places you could attack me, where like I'm mean to people sometimes. I throw off the cuff remarks. I make wild statements occasionally. Like there's so many good ways you can attack me, but to attack me on my gameplay, which is like literally probably the most defensible thing about like my YouTube channel, is that I play games like reasonably well. In fact, one of the, like in the Dune video, that I released, a lot of the comments were like, dude, I'm so glad that you played this game because all the other people I watched were like kind of not great at the game. Like that was one of the prevailing comments. So I'm baffled by, why would you attack my gameplay when there's so many good things you could attack me on? Like I say some really dumb shit sometimes. Like these are like really solid attack vectors, and you just chose like the weakest one, and it's kind of baffling. But what I was going to say is, I thought it would be really fun maybe if I were to set up like a completely unmodded game and like show off my true power to see how quickly could I win, like a science victory or something. While narrating it non-stop for like a 3-hour game, because I'm pretty sure I can speedrun Civ 6 in 3 hours, while narrating exactly what I'm doing. And I have done it before. Like I have done that, and I think I could do it again. Like I think that would like be a really good demonstration of an FU to all the people that think I'm like cheating by making the game easier. Like 99% of the time when I alter the game or make some sort of cheat, I usually announce it. Like at the start of this series, I edited a stone into my start just because I was like, God damn it, I was tired of rolling for stone. So I was like, listen, I'm just going to have stone. I'm just going to give myself stone so I can actually get this game going. This is my job, right? I have to make some compromises occasionally to the integrity of the project that we're doing here. But obviously announced, right? Like, I'm going to tell you when the integrity has been futzed with slightly, you know? I'm not just going to do it. Like, I think even Morbus, if you were to ask Morbus, he edits all of my video footage. And I want to say, maybe in the last year and a half that he's edited for me, there's been like a couple instances of like, you know, editing a thing because I got screwed by RNG, or like reloading that wasn't included in the video. You know, like for narrative reasons, 99% of the time, if I make a mistake and fuck up or I have to edit the game, like you see that. So really what I want to do is to settle here to deny land to this guy, to Gorgo. Now, if we go ahead and do a search for hills, like remember, always do a search for hills when you're like planning out your cities, because if I search, hill, if we have a look here, there's actually decent land in here for seaside resorts. We could make something happen here if we so choose. So I think for me, I would like to settle here maybe. Yeah, this appeals to me because it's only -6 loyalty and that can be overtaken. And then it would be 1, 2, 3. And then I could settle on this hill. I want to settle on hills. And the reason I want to settle on hills is because you can't build seaside resorts on hills. So by settling on hills, also there's like a really good harbor here, which is kind of part of my motivation. If you settle on hills, you kind of increase you lower the amount of bad land, basically. I'm trying to optimize here for coastal tourism. Handan has built exactly zero has built 0 districts, which is kind of like cute to me. I'm trying to think, is there a district I could really use? Not really. Not really. I mean, if I were to put forests in here, it'd be pretty good. This would be all high appeal. I could put like a thing there. I don't need another industrial zone. Probably would help to get a campus to run campus projects. I could go for a theater square. I guess, well, I have the theater square placed. I may as well build it. Do I want to go for any other things? I mean, a commercial hub is fine, I think. I'll pop down a commercial hub. I've got room for another district. What will we do? Yeah, let's just drop a campus. Science, gold, production, but primarily culture, rather. So, harbor sounds good. And we'll go granary watermill. But yeah, stuff like that is kind of just wild to me. Is like that people will actually just make up stuff about you, which is kind of fun. It's kind of fun to be the target of that, like in a weird kind of way. It's like, aha, there's a conspiracy about. I want to know. You know, there's kind of like that curiosity. But there's also like a weird visceral need to like defend yourself. It's like, dude, this is like totally bullshit. But like, you also have to kind of like at that point, you've given that person power over you, right? If they made up some weird thing about you, you kind of have to like, you have to step away from it, or it will like. You've given the power over you, right? You've given the rumors power over you if you react to them. So you kind of have to, I don't know what the word I'm looking for here, but you have to kind of be above it. And I think that's the right way to be, is to be above it. Now, you should respond in some sense. And like, I think I have here in this video. And I think I will respond again, just for fun, because I think the response, like, I think it's really important that like, if you're responding to criticism, one of the biggest mistakes people make responding to criticism is that they feel their ego is hurt and they need to defend it. For me, in this instance, like my ego was initially hurt, and now my response is like, okay, how do I have fun with this? Like, how do I make this into a fun thing? And I think a way to make it into a fun thing is to play like a game at a really, really high speed, at a really high difficulty level, while also narrating it and like being like, okay, you thought I was bad at the game? Well, here you go. Here is like the best proof I could come up. That was also fun to do. I don't know. I'm kind of not sure exactly. Maybe I won't even bother. Like, I don't know. Listen, I'm kind of inconsistent and I like to spitball ideas. So, you know, don't rely on what I say too much. Now, I was waiting for Magnus. Magne? Where is Magne? He's established in Changsha. Okay, I don't know if I'm just dumb, but I cannot find the city of Changsha. Like, I literally... Oh, it's over here. Okay. Let's go ahead and faith by a naturalist. What were we building in here? I don't think we were going for any districts. Yes, it doesn't matter. So I'll grab Magnus and reassign him to Thebes. Make use of Thebes. The Thebians are here. They're not to be confused with plebeians. Okay, so the peel-wise, this is actually a good place for this. If I'm settling, okay, so I'm settling here, 1, 2, 3. I think if I settle on the truffles, I get this full island and I can convert it. I probably want like another city or two, but it's going to depend upon getting my ducks in a row. But I'm pretty happy about this kind of like land grab over here for a little bit of extra tourism. Now, I know that seaside resorts aren't wonder tourism, but it's kind of dependent upon getting Cristo Redentor. So in my mind, it kind of feels like wonder tourism, even though it's not really. It kind of is. So like it kind of fits. So I think my capital has the most production thanks to Ruhr Valley, which means this is the place that I want to build Cristo Redentor because I can build it in a very, very short amount of time. I kind of wish I'd left room for the Eiffel Tower, but that's okay that we didn't. Cristo Redentor, I'm going to pop it right here on this tile. It'll take 12 turns to build, but it will give me 100% tourism from seaside resorts across my civilization. And I did just unlock seaside resorts so I can start building them. And this will start to net me a ton of not only era score, but also gold. And more importantly, tourism, 5 tourism, 4 tourism. So we just spam these out, we'll be good to go. I got Divine Architect on Moksha. That's right, actually. Where did I actually put him? Oh yeah, he's over here, so I can go ahead and like faith purchase. The hell did I just faith purchase? Oh, the harbor, right, yeah. Okay, that makes sense. And then I can gold purchase the shipyard and the trade route building. And then bada bing, bada boom, we got a city that's actually like capable of doing things. Would like the seaport. I think we want to rush computers now because we want that 25% tourism boost across our empire. This will just increase the amount of tourism we get from our world wonders and our great works. I'm not too enamored with shopping malls. I think I would like to get to democracy now. I definitely want my tier 3 government, and democracy feels like it would be a good one for this particular game. I still can build a Petra. It's still allowed. I'm going to build a Petra because of the passive tourism that it provides. Basically like building a great work right now. I would love to plug in Vissel banking, but I'm going to wait until I'm at democracy for that. Let's have a look here. I have a wildcard policy open, so I could plug in basically anything that I wanted. Like I could plug in frescoes or symphonies. I could plug in invention. Invention's not a bad one to plug in all honesty. And if I'm going to plug in invention, I want to buy the workshop. So let me quickly purchase some luxuries. Boom, boom, boom. And then sell all of my own luxuries. Boom, 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 boom. And then I want to sell my strategics as well to the AI if I can get value for that. 45 gold per turn, 28 gold, 19 gold, and 1 gold. Perfect. Let's also do an open borders check, just scan around. I'm looking for borders with an AI that are solid. Like here, Germany's borders are solid, so then I talk to Germany. I say, hey, you want to do mutual open borders? You'll pay me, I'll pay you. Now his borders aren't solid. That's how I go around and do it. Now, I'm pretty sure Ethiopia hates me, so I can't do that with them. But hey, aluminium. How annoying. So aluminium spawns are... there's one to beat my kill well. Strategic resource spawns can cause like issues for your empire. It's not the end of the world. It's just kind of annoying. It's like gently annoying. My capital city has like this little snake running up here to these random tiles. So I'm feeling pretty good about this. I want to move you to here, and then I would like to buy a tile. Create the national park. Perfect. National parks are great because they generate a decent amount of tourism, 16 tourism. Like, I mean, is there a reason for me not to do this? Like, consider, like, the Kotoku Inn makes 5 tourism per turn. Like, my earliest wonder here, the Stonehenge is making 7 tourism per turn, and it's accumulated nearly 700. Like, it's a pretty low amount of tourism that these give over the course of a game. Honestly, wonder tourism could be buffed slightly. You know what I think you could buff it with? Maybe you could give it a card. Like tourism from wonders is increased by, 1 per wonder or something. You could. I think there's like potential here for like. I feel like wonder tourism is an underutilized part of the game that could get a little bit of attention and become more interesting to play around. That's how I feel, and I think that's a reasonable feeling. Now, I don't think I'm going to put any national parks here, because if I think about where my national parks are going, there's one up here in Quishan. Let me have a little bit of a think. How many national parks do I want to build? How many national parks do I need to build? And how many national parks can I build? I guess this area is like pretty okay for national parks. Like if I really take an examination, like we got potential national park here. Okay, that's the top and bottom. We got a potential national park here, top and bottom. So that's like 2 more national parks that I could grab real quick. I'm going to go ahead and just buy these 2 tiles to secure them so that the AI can't yoinkarino them. I got my amphitheater. Archaeological museums are good. How close am I to getting an artist? I'm actually on the verge of getting an artist, so I'm going to switch this to an art museum. Let's settle this city in the face of a man-at-arms. Perfecto. Now, 28 turns of loyalty is a little bit of a problem in here, but if I buy the obelisk, that'll bring that down to only 2 loyalty per turn. And then if I buy the watermill and the granary, that will allow the city to grow alongside things like the crabs resource. And then if I grab Moksha and reassign him to this new city, in 5 turns I'll be able to buy the harbour, which will be all great. Speaking of stuff, I think I need to spend my envoys. I've been kind of sitting on my envoys for a while and I haven't been spending them. It would be nice to get Muscat. I think Fez would be kind of cool actually too, because I could spread my religion and get science. Fez is kind of an interesting save, to be honest, or city-state rather. Grab Muscat and then let's grab Fez. So I'm suzerain of every city-state here, which feels pretty good to me. I'm sitting on governor charges. I don't really think of one that's really very good. I could go for Liang, go to Waterworks. And I will, because in this particular game that makes sense to go for Waterworks. We got another artifact. I'm going to take a barbarian artifact. Cool. I could build my broadcast centers. I could build neighborhoods. It's kind of unfortunate. The appeal is a little bit low here, but if I were to plant a forest, I wonder, am I actually allowed to retool my allies' land? Let's have a little bit of a look here. Buenos Aires is my city-state, so it's an open question as to whether or not I can actually modify their... I know I can build things in their territory, but I'm wondering, can I delete things? Can I get rid of things? That's the kind of open question that I haven't answered before. And so I would like to know. I took a China artifact. This is a classical era artifact, so I'll take a barbarian. Let's have a look at our artifacts here. We have ancient and classical, both barbarians. So now I want to find some China artifacts, ideally. Let's keep developing our empire. Buying tiles, doing all the things we need to do. Interesting thing about tourism is that, for example, this tile is more than 4 tiles or more than 3 tiles away from my city centre, which means it will not generate tourism. And I'll be able to demonstrate that in the near future, but just got to give it a turn. It says it's generating 2 per turn, but when we actually go look at it, you will see that the accumulation of tourism will be 0. Torre de Belim. This is pretty cool because I do get a free building in all my like non-capital continent places. And it's kind of a cool looking wonder. But more importantly, it generates a little bit of tourism. The thing about wonders is the later built wonders actually produce less tourism in a kind of weird twist of fate. Oh yeah, let's go ahead and make some sculptures. I built Torre. I want to build Statue of Liberty. I think I wanted to build Venetian Arsenal, so we'll go ahead and get that going. I'm going for wonder tourism. I don't think you can fault me for that play, because it's kind of a fun way to play the game. My tourism's up to a solid... Oh, right, I want to show this off. Look, I hover over it. Lifetime accumulation 0. So this is producing no tourism because it's not in range of my city. So things that are not in range of your city will not produce tourism. That's an important game mechanic that people should understand. And all too often, people do not know that it works like that. We got a World Congress. I super don't care what this is about. Like, honestly, it doesn't change the game. I'm not going for a diplomatic victory, so who asked? Extract the artifact. This time I want this is a classical era. This time I want China. That is the civ I'm playing. You kind of get to this point in the game though, like this mid to late game. Well, I'd say this is the late game. We're deeply in the late game now. And things become kind of, I don't want to say predictable or rote, but a lot of the moves are kind of played out, right? Not played out. Like the moves are obvious because I made the decision so long ago. Like there's no more decisions really that I need to make. I'm curious, I don't remember if you can build seaside resorts beside lakes. That's like a question I always forget. It comes up so rarely for me that I just never remember the answer, even though I know for a fact that I've queried this point like multiple times. Like I know that this has come up many times in my time playing Civ. And I never remember what the actual answer is. Like, what do you do when it comes to needing to do that thing that I'm trying to describe, and that I'm forgetting the words. When you're trying, the words, they leave my brain. What do you do? Oh my God, I can't say it. I can't say it. Can you build seaside resorts next to lakes? That's the question. I know I've answered that question many times, and I've never remembered the answer. That's the thing about Civ, though. Like, it's such a big and complex and difficult game that it's so easy to forget. Like, forget every little nugget of information. It's such a deep and wonderful and rich experience. There's so much texture that it's hard to really know it all. I don't think you can know it all. If we're taking a look at the city of Chengdu, it's got an armory, it's got a theater square. It doesn't have its granary and watermill, so I will grab those real quick. Probably would like to get another district type. It could be getting a commercial hub. There's not a lot of good, like there's a lot of okay spots for commercial hubs here. I don't know if I want to do that. Maybe I could build a wonder. It's a good production city. I have to kill like a really good tile to get a Taj Mahal, which really sucks. I'm working like all of these tiles, except for maybe the copper. You could justify killing the copper because I'm not working it yet. And I guess losing a tile isn't the end of the world. Like, I know it's painful to crush it, but is it that bad? You know what I need to do, actually? I need to build traders. I need like a city to just get me some traders and a spy. So you get to work on that for me. I will start getting my broadcast centers, mostly for the great musician points, just to get an extra couple of great musicians before the game ends. Would be a nice boon. And I'm going to pop down Alcazars where I don't have like good spots for seasides. I think that's like a normal and well-adjusted thing to do. Hoping for an Egypt artifact. That's perfect. This museum actually might already be themed. Oh no, it's a Renaissance artifact that I got. Boo. Boo. I was saying boo earns. Hey, there's Petra. Essentially just like building I cannot promise that I won't use my spies on you. He captured my spy, damn it. Essentially, like, this is like building a great work. That's what building Petra is, right? I built like a great work of Petra to get me tourism. Let's talk to Mansa Musa. It's almost always worth it to buy your spies back. Statistically, they will make their money back. We built Petra. I could go for Taj Mahal or Hermitage. It's like a decent production city. I think I'll go for Taj. Pop it right there. Rightio. Let's get the campus. I need those great scientist points. This city needs a builder. Let's buy a builder or two from Beijing. I'm also going to buy the workshop. That'll speed up the Venetian arsenal by a chunk. I definitely feel like the workshop is an underpowered building. Does anyone else feel that like the workshop just doesn't do enough? It just seems very, very low impact. +3 production. That's like a mine. You know, it's like it's spending 700 production to make a mine, or one of them was a 400 production for one of those things. Like, look, workshop +3 production, 1 citizen slot, great engineer point. Okay, 200 production. It's a 200 production for a 1 build charge, essentially. Like, it's 200 production for one of these. You want my hot take? Workshops should be like +1 production per district. That would be the change I would make to workshops. +1 production per district. That way they, you know, most cities will build 3 districts. So it's already better, or it's already at least as good as it is right now, but it has that little bit of a potential to get better. And it's not much. And like, this is what I would consider like a meager buff. And not every buff needs to be a game breaker. Sometimes buffs just need to be a nudge. Just a nudge, just a little boop, just a little very gentle shove in the right direction. I'm going to go ahead and faith purchase a harbor, and then gold purchase a lighthouse, mostly to increase the food in the city so that we can work these whales and grow real fast. But yeah, that would be like, you know what? You could even do it to where it's like, you could even make it so that the workshop, I feel like the workshop is a weak building. It doesn't do anything, right? Like if I look through the tech tree and I think about buildings that are interesting, like let's talk about interesting buildings. The shrine is interesting because it allows you to purchase missionaries. The library is kind of boring because it just gets you science. But the thing is, it's interesting because it comes so early and great scientists are so interesting that the library in of itself is kind of interesting. Markets are really interesting. It just gets you gold, but that +1 trade route is really super interesting. Barracks are a little bit boring, +1 production, but it does give you a housing, it gives you a combat experience bonus, it allows you to strategic, right? Like all these things are interesting. It has game mechanical implications. And then it's like workshop, it's like +3 production. No, this is whoop-de-doo. And then you have like factory, produces extra tree production, AoE production, boom, boom, boom. Then you have coal power plants, extra production, adjacency, boom, 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 bonus, boom, boom, extra. Like, it's so much cooler. Turns coal into power. You know, the workshop just feels anemic. I think I would love. I talk about this like I want to say I talk about this like once a series, but I really want to sit down with a modder, and actually, and I think I'm going to really dedicate time to this. I know I've said this a few times, but I think we're going to go through, and all the boring buildings, we're going to make them interesting. We're going to sit down and we're going to identify all the boring buildings. So like banks are boring, workshops are boring, libraries are boring, seaports are kind of boring. Well, they're okay. They come quite late though, is the thing. And we're just going to make like, they're not going to be game breaking, but they're just going to be tweaks to make those buildings a little bit more interesting. So these traders, I want to put them over here in my new cities. These cities here, like Longxi, so I can trade with Greece and stuff like that to get the bonus tourism from having a trade route with a neighbor. Let me know though, do you guys feel the same way as me, that there are certain buildings that just are boring? Like they don't do much? I'm going to go ahead and promote Void Singer so I can get Canticles. This will allow me to generate Relics of the Void. And you know what, having said that, maybe it would have been good for me to go for Mont Saint Michel this game. No, sorry, not Mont Saint Michel. I did go for Mont Saint Michel. I should have gone for St. Basil's Cathedral. I'm going to do it anyway, right now. I'm going to go for it. After Venetian Arsenal, I'm going to go for St. Basil's here. 12 turn St. Basil's is fine because it'll allow me to... Because I can generate relics now. And I think I want to... Any cities flipping independent that I could maybe speed along in their journey? No, it doesn't look like it. See, I'm just going to make like cultists to get relics. I really do miss the whole like cultists could flip cities independent on their own. Like I feel like the game is missing something since that went. I miss it. It was so good. It was so fun. The problem is the most fun things in games are usually the most imbalanced. Like just admit it. All the coolest things you've like used against your friends in multiplayer games, they were objectively BS. Tell me I'm wrong, and I'll call you a liar. I want an Ambiorix relic now. I potentially am close to getting themed. If I use the theming button here, I just need one more red artifact. I'm close to theming both of these. I just need a red and a purple artifact. I'll explain how that theming screen works maybe in the next episode. Yeah, though, I'm going to call that the end of this episode. I love you all very much. And I'll see you guys next time. We're on the verge of getting Patala Palace, Crystal Redentor, Venetian Arsenal, and the Great Zimbabwe. Our tourism is off the chain. We're up to 400 tourism per turn, and we're 22 turns away from winning. I love you all very much, and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye-bye!